Good afternoon everyone. Today, I want to take you on a journey into one of the most debated topics in the electric vehicle world, the gap between official range claims and real-world performance. Specifically, we will focus on the Tesla Model 3, one of the most popular EVs on the planet, and a car that has become almost synonymous with the electric driving experience. This conversation matters for three reasons. First, range is the number one question people ask before buying an EV. Second, official figures are used as benchmarks to compare cars, but consumers don't always experience those numbers in practice. And third, how we interpret these differences tells us something bigger about the future of sustainable transportation. So let's begin by looking at what Tesla officially claims, before comparing it to how the Model 3 actually performs in the real world. 1. The official story. Tesla's published ranges. Tesla currently advertises different ranges depending on the Model 3 version. Rear-wheel drive standard range plus, about 270 to 280 miles per charge, according to the EPA test cycle in the United States. Long-range dual motor, roughly 340 to 360 miles. Performance model, about 300 to 315 miles. These numbers are generated under standardized testing procedures. In the US, the Environmental Protection Agency EPA provides a test cycle designed to reflect a mix of city and highway driving. In Europe, you may have heard of WLTP, or the Worldwide Harmonized Light Vehicles Test Procedure, which tends to report slightly higher figures than EPA estimates. The goal of these tests is to give consumers a reliable benchmark. But here's the challenge. No test cycle can capture the complexity of real roads, individual driving habits, or climate conditions too. The real-world reality. When we look at independent testing and owner experiences, a more nuanced picture emerges. Model 3 standard range often delivers between 220 and 250 miles in everyday driving, which is about 10 to 20% below the EPA claim. Model 3 long range typically gets around 300 to 320 miles in real use, again, slightly below the official numbers, but still impressive. Model 3 performance usually falls closer to 270 to 290 miles, reflecting its sporty tuning. Consumer Reports, Edmunds, and European car magazines have all done their own testing. Most find that Tesla's ranges are closer to reality than many competitors, but still optimistic under harsher conditions. This gap between official claims and lived experience is not unique to Tesla. It happens with gasoline cars too. But because range is such a critical factor for EVs, people notice the difference much more. 3. Why the difference? The key variables. Let's break down the factors that cause range variation. Driving speed. At highway speeds, wind resistance rises dramatically. For instance, driving at 75 miles per hour can cut range by 15 to 20% compared to cruising at 55. Weather. Cold weather reduces battery efficiency. A Tesla Model 3 in a Canadian winter might lose 25 to 30% of its range compared to a mild California climate. Terrain. Hills and mountain roads demand more energy. While regenerative braking recaptures some power on the way down, it rarely balances out the uphill demand. Driving style. Smooth, steady acceleration conserves energy, but rapid acceleration, something Tesla owners love to demonstrate, uses more energy and reduces range. Vehicle load. Extra passengers, cargo, or roof racks all add weight or aerodynamic drag, lowering efficiency. Use of climate control. Heating in particular drains the battery quickly, since EVs don't have the waste heat from combustion engines to warm the cabin. Battery aging. Over time, a Tesla battery loses a small percentage of capacity. After 100,000 miles, many owners report about 90% of original range still strong, but not quite new. Each of these factors chips away at the neat, round numbers printed on the spec sheet. 4. Consumer perception. The psychology of range. Here's where it gets interesting. Even when real-world range is slightly less than advertised, the perception can be powerful. For many early buyers, range anxiety was the biggest barrier. The fear wasn't about losing 20 miles of range, it was about being stranded. Tesla addressed this in two ways, by offering comparatively high ranges, always pushing above 250 miles when many competitors were stuck below 200. By building the supercharger network, which reassures drivers they can always recharge quickly. So while the official numbers may be optimistic, Tesla has built a system that makes those differences less of a deal breaker. Interestingly, surveys show that once people own a Tesla, range anxiety often fades. Drivers realize they rarely need the full 300 miles. Most daily commutes are under 40 miles, and charging overnight at home resets the tank every morning. 5. Tesla's advantage in efficiency. It's worth highlighting that even when real-world ranges fall short, Tesla still leads in efficiency compared to rivals. For example, the Model 3 long range achieves about 4 miles per kilowatt-hour under good conditions. Many competitors, like the Ford Mustang Mach-E or VW ID.4, achieve closer to 3.2 to 3.5. That efficiency gap means Tesla gets more mileage from each unit of stored energy. This efficiency is the result of Tesla's focus on aerodynamics, lightweight design, advanced motor technology, and constant over-the-air software optimization. 6. Future outlook. Closing the gap. What does the future hold for range accuracy? 3 developments stand out: better testing standards. Regulators are exploring test cycles that include more variables like cold weather or high-speed driving to provide consumers with a more realistic picture. Battery innovation. Tesla's upcoming 4,680 battery cells promise higher energy density, potentially pushing real-world ranges closer to 400 or even 500 miles in future vehicles. Smarter software. Tesla's Trip Planner already estimates real-world consumption based on terrain and temperature. As machine learning improves, these estimates will get more accurate, minimizing surprises for drivers. 7. Lessons beyond Tesla. This discussion isn't only about Tesla, it's about the EV industry as a whole. Official numbers are useful for comparison, but real-world data is what truly builds consumer trust. Tesla's experience shows that transparency matters. Efficiency is just as important as raw battery size. Infrastructure like fast charging is essential to complement range. Conclusion. So, to return to our original question, what is the real range of a Tesla Model 3 compared to the official claims? The answer is nuanced. Officially, the Model 3 promises 270 to 360 miles per charge, depending on the version. In reality, drivers often see 10 to 20% less, especially in challenging conditions. But even then, Tesla offers more usable, reliable range than most competitors, supported by an unrivaled charging network. Ultimately, the Model 3's story is not about falling short, it's about redefining what enough range means for the everyday driver. By balancing official optimism with practical solutions, Tesla has helped turn range anxiety into range confidence. And that may be the most important achievement of all. Thank you.